are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Hello, welcome to episode 429 of the New York Knicks podcast, part of the almighty Baller Podcast Network and Dash Radio. I am Jay. With me is Marc and Bry. How you guys doing?
Good. I am excited for Hot Take Bry episode. He has hot takes for us. He's going to infuriate everyone that's listening to the show, and I am delighted. I cannot wait to hear the crazy stuff he's going to say.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'd like to come on every 200 episodes or so and piss off all your listeners.
I think he was on like 200 episodes ago saying how Kevin Durant was overrated, and then Durant had to leave his team and go play with the Warriors because Bry was right.
That's right.
Yeah.
We left off last episode saying we'd be cool with the Knicks signing Hizanja, and then as soon as I posted the episode, I realized they had already done that.
So what do you think of her Zanja? Is that I'm never gonna get this name. This is gonna be so frustrating.
It's not
but what do you think?
Hard.
It's hard for me.
You're like adding letters. You're making it harder.
Can't they just put it like phonetically? Okay, fine. Zanja, is that right?
No.
Mario. What do you think of the Mario signing?
Yeah, just call him Super Mario.
Yeah, Super Mario. I like that name. Well, if he plays well, we'll call him Super Mario. If he does not play well, we'll say his contract's over soon anyway.
Of course, we're going to get a bunch of emails saying it's not Mario, it's Mario.
Oh God,
we can't win.
Well, how would someone even put that in an email? It's not Mario, it's Mario.
I'll have to phonetically spell it out. M-E-H-M-A-H.
Believe me, if it's wrong, our listeners will have they'll figure out a way to make us feel bad.
I like this signing for a number of reasons. The guy is super athletic. Yes, he was a high draft pick. Yes, he did not work out in Orlando, but Victor Oladipo did not work out in Orlando and is one of the best players in the league. He was towards from midseason onward, he had a bunch of really good games for Orlando. He started to really come on for them. And I think they look stupid for not bringing him back.
I would have rathered maybe not $6.5 million, but it's a 1-year deal. So
1-year deal. What's the difference? Like our roster's maxed out now anyway. We have to remove someone from the roster, so it doesn't matter. As long as it's a 1-year deal, what do you care? The one thing I would have rather the Knicks have like a player option for next season, just in case he ends up being good.
Right. Because now we're in that situation where if he ends up being really good, then we're not going to be able to afford to keep him.
Or you have to make a tough decision. I mean, hopefully he's really good and Knicks have to make a tough decision.
By a tough decision, you mean wrong decision.
Of course, it's always a wrong decision. I understand. So apparently he had a multi-year offer from some other teams, and he chose the Knicks. Why do you think he chose the Knicks?
You wanted to win?
He wanted to win.
He chose the Knicks because he wanted to win. I assume he chose the Knicks because he knew when he comes to the Knicks, he'd get a lot of playing time. We're short of fours. He can play power forward for us. The Knicks are bad enough to give him a lot of playing time, basically.
I think he also wants the spotlight.
Yeah, they say he's super competitive and really wants to be like one of the best players in the game, and like he thirsts for the spotlight.
Because apparently he was in Europe, and one of the most famous soccer players was in town. They're like, "Are you going to go see him?" And he said he should come see me.
I like that attitude.
and this was when he was like 21. So, yeah, it's.
The thing about him also, so he didn't play a lot when he was in the EuroLeague, and they have a thing there where the young guys don't get a lot of minutes unless they're Luka Doncic. Most of the young guys do not get a lot of minutes,
right?
And so he didn't play a lot of minutes there. Came to Orlando, didn't play a lot of minutes in Orlando, and Orlando had just lots of turmoil. He could have a lot of untapped potential. Low risk, high reward signing.
Yeah. I'm happy. It's good, and Summer League's going on right now, and looks like they made another good move because Knox is playing really good.
I obviously had a horrible reaction to Knox being drafted, and people killed me for it. And I like what I saw from him. He looked aggressive. He wasn't, his 3-point shot wasn't going down, but people like his form. People think that he'll become a good 3-point shooter. His defense wasn't exactly fabulous. He wasn't like an amazing defender in game one we saw him, but I love his aggressiveness. He looks like there's a lot there. I mean, one summer league game into it, I'm a fan of the signing of this draft pick. I've turned a corner.
Bri, how much do you hate this pick?
I haven't recognized the name you guys have said since we started.
Okay.
I think Bri wants to do free agency hot takes. Is that true?
I'm more of a general NBA than a Knicks.
Why don't we do the Knicks stuff, and then once the Knicks stuff is done, Bri can jump in there with all his hot takes.
That's fine.
That makes sense?
Sure.
I mean, Jay, what did you think of his playing? What was your take on him?
He looks pretty athletic. I was pretty impressed. I mean, he looked better than a lot of picks that went higher than him. I mean, granted, it's a one-game sample size, but he looked a lot better than Trae Young.
I mean, we have to also remember Jerry and Grant was the MVP of Summer League a couple of years ago, so Summer League is very, very much meaningless. But Trae Young has looked he looked decent as far as he's passing the ball, and he's been highly inefficient so far.
Where are they now? Jerry and Grant just got traded.
What team is he on now? I saw he got traded. Where is he?
Him
now?
and Mozgov got traded to the Magic. From the Magic. Sorry, to the Magic.
It was like a 3-team deal of like everyone take my trash.
Yeah, the Magic got rid of Biyombo and then took on Mozgov. So still terrible.
Do you think Clint Capella is like, what the hell? He looks at the contracts that Mozgov got, Biyombo has, and he's like, I can't get a goddamn contract. I'm waiting for whatever offer Houston's going to make. No one's even trying to get me, and I'm one of the best defensive centers in the league.
Are there actual negotiations that go on for free agents, or is it just like you either get the max or you get like $5 million a year? Is there anything in between? Because it's all I hear about. It's like, oh, he got a max deal. Oh, he got $5 million. Is it like slotted, or is there actually like you can negotiate a number?
No, you can negotiate. It's just, I mean, if you're semi-decent, you try and get a max contract, and there's enough crappy teams where if you're halfway decent, they want to keep you, and they kind of
and then in 2 years they want to trade you.
Yeah, but they almost.
I just didn't know if it was everything. I just don't know if the whole like roster was slotted like X.
No,
because
and then the Nets signed Joe Harris for $8 million a year. So
okay.
Like decent.
If you're Sacramento and you're Chicago, you play a game of chicken with one of the dumbest contracts in the NBA right now. 4 years, $80 million to Zach LaVine.
Oh my God.
That is.
I mean, you were on Twitter talking about how.
I don't even know who that is, but I'd probably rather have Adam Levine.
You probably.
Yeah, I mean, you were on Twitter talking about how stupid Sacramento was, and then Chicago matched it
within an hour. Like, it was like something ridiculous. Like, Chicago was like, no, we got to keep him. And Chicago did that because they traded for him in the Jimmy Butler trade, and they're like, we can't lose the piece we got from the Jimmy Butler trade, even if it means making a just enormously stupid contract.
I mean, he could score points, but he can't guard anybody.
He's not the most efficient scorer. He cannot guard anyone. He's super athletic, and he'll win some dunk contests for you. But and maybe he's a promising young player. $20 million a year for him is Mozgov level absurd.
Yeah.
Timmy Hardaway is just like, okay, my contract doesn't look as bad. Thank you.
I mean, it makes the Knicks look a little less inept. I like that.
Oh my. I can't believe two teams wanted to give Zach LaVine 4 years, $80 million. It seemed. It's the summer of where like guys aren't getting absurd contracts. It's like teams are being really conservative. No one has cap space, and Zach LaVine gets the biggest contract of the entire summer. At least like.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, of total dollars. Who's got a big? Oh, I guess like some guys got re-signed. But if they're going to a new, I guess you got re-signed. Never mind. Okay, fine.
Chris Paul, Jokic.
Yes,
Paul
yes.
George.
You're right. Fine, you're right with facts.
LeBron.
It's still it was the craziest contract of the summer so far, though.
Yeah, no, that was completely insane. I thought Aaron Gordon got overpaid and then entered LaVine.
Well, going back, I thought Gordon got a reasonable contract. You didn't think so? He plays defense. Gordon's a good two-way player.
True.
He's like, who else is Orlando building around? He actually is a player he's a pretty good player. Like losing him, like what the hell are they doing then?
No, when you have a pretty good player, you should definitely almost max him out.
I feel like he's a guy that could be an all-star. I like the move. But going back to the Knicks for a second, Knox look good. Pretty happy with it. They're playing right now actually against Utah, but the game's on NBA TV, which I do not have, and we're doing the show anyway. But what about Mitchell Robinson, who looks awesome? I mean, like just forget like he didn't look like amazing on all. Like he didn't look like he like was completely up to speed with the game yet, but he looks super athletic. He had 4 blocks. I think this guy's going to be really good. I love this draft pick. Yeah,
this could be a steal for a second rounder.
Yeah, I feel like this guy's like could be a couple of years from now could be a starter for the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I was a huge fan of that. What else do you want to say from the summer league game? What's his name? Number 0 looked awesome. What the heck? Can you help me with this? Troy Williams. Troy Williams looked awesome.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, I don't think we're gonna have roster spots for any of these guys.
What do you mean? Williams is on the team.
Troy Williams?
Troy Williams on the team.
We're the worst podcast ever.
Are you kidding me?
No,
he was on the team last year. He has a spot in the roster.
The Knicks are terrible. How do they not have room on the roster for draft picks and young players?
I mean, it's all the nice thing about this roster. If you look at the roster, it's almost all young players. The veterans on this team are Noah, who may not play for this team, are Courtney Lee, who they're trying to trade, and Timmy Hardaway, who's also like 26.
Yeah,
it's all young players. Like this is the first year where, I mean, I wish KP's injured. That sucks, but we're gonna play the young guys. Are gonna happen from day one.
It was almost like a stealth rebuild too, because last year we're like, oh, they still got a lot of vets and they're playing them a lot, and now there's like no vets to even give minutes to.
Yeah, it's
No,
I mean, Lance Thomas is still here, but I don't mind Lance Thomas. I know you hate him, but he is like a hardworking defensive player. Like he's not a bad guy for them to learn off of. Didn't they make him like the captain of the one, like a co-captain of the team? Like
yeah, they did.
So they're a fan of him anyway. So I feel like. Oh, by the way, what do you think of the Knicks' proposed lineup from Fizdale? KP at the 3. I think it was Mitchell Robinson at the 4, and I don't remember if it was the 5. But it was like a super like big lineup.
The East is big, man.
I thought Mike Woodson heard that and was like, "Yeah, finally the Knicks are getting my they're finally getting it."
I don't know about KP at the 3.
I don't know about it. I think the point was just that like his thing seems to be he wants guys to be kind of multi-position players, and a guy can cover the 3, cover the 4. Like they can do a lot of switching, a lot of length. Seems reasonable. I don't know.
I mean, in theory, it is. Yeah, I mean, you have to have the right clientele for that.
Right, obviously.
We might have it. I don't know.
Who the hell knows?
Like I said, it's a 1-game sample size. I think we could officially say Trae Young's going to suck, though.
Yeah, let's call it right now. Trae Young, gigantic bust. he didn't look. He made some good passes. They actually, in that game, he had some step back like Steph Curry like three from like 5 feet beyond the arc. You're like, oh, maybe, and then he missed everything else.
Yeah,
he still got the line. He still got some points, but he does not. I would not be happy if I was an Atlanta fan. I
would be so pissed off.
I mean, maybe he'll get better. Who knows? But by the way,
I don't think there are any Atlanta fans.
I used to live in Atlanta. There aren't. Ntilikina, by the way, did not look super unaggressive. He looked the exact same thing as from last year.
That's great.
Someone pointed out, though, I saw in a comment section of Posting and Toasting that Gary Payton, for the first 3 years of his career, did not really score, did not look for his offense until everything clicked in his 4th year. So Ntilikina will be Gary Payton.
Frank is Gary Payton confirmed. We're confirming a lot on this show.
Yeah, it's too early. I feel like Ntilikina, it'll take a while. Like it'll be a slow build with him, but I still think it'll be good.
Do you have to explain to your younger listeners who Gary Payton was?
We'll probably have to explain what team he's played on.
There was a team in Seattle, and even though fans went to the game, they just left Seattle anyway, and now Seattle doesn't have a basketball team. The end. Wasn't wasn't the worst part of that Durant? Like, he got drafted by the Supersonics, right?
Yeah.
And he was gone like the year after. They moved the entire franchise. Here, we got one of the 10 greatest players ever, and we're going to move the franchise right after he gets here.
Yeah, that sucks.
What else? What else was in Knicks world?
Probably because their fans were like, top 10 player of all time? I don't think so. Get the hell out of here.
Is he? I guess, like, how do you think he's going to end up being top 10 of all time?
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
I guess, like,
how many?
First you have to establish the top 10, and then you have to establish who he's kicking out.
Okay, forgetting the top 10. Just he's a power forward, right?
Yeah.
So power forwards of all time, who can you think 5 guys are ahead of him?
I mean, you could argue Duncan, Malone.
I feel like I'd rather have Durant. I'd rather have Durant than Malone. And Malone was really good, but Durant is really good also. Durant's probably better.
So what do you think about the talk that Durant signed a 1-year deal because he has his eye on New York with Kyrie Irving?
I thought it was Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving.
How
many stars are we getting?
I thought he was going to the Lakers to play with LeBron.
Nope, they're all coming to the Knicks.
I feel like maybe like he definitely wants to be like have the option to maybe join LeBron if like things don't work on gold. I don't know. Maybe
he's
wins the title.
never going to join LeBron.
He's not leaving the Warriors.
He's not joining the Knicks. What do you think about
He's not leaving the Warriors.
The Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving rumors? Do you think there's anything to that?
I hope not.
What are the rumors?
You wouldn't take Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler in New York?
No.
If they both want to come here, whatever. I'd be very excited. Like the Knicks, it's hard to go anywhere.
What exactly has Jimmy Butler ever done that makes everybody so excited about him?
He made the first round of the playoffs this year, right?
Yeah, with Towns and Wiggins.
You guys, you NBA guys, you fall in love with these guys that haven't done anything. You guys get all excited about these people, and like, you just take a look. They haven't done anything.
Someone had asked me. They were like, "What's going on with the Knicks?" And this weekend, I was like, "The Knicks, like, they have a lot of young pieces. A lot of like, they draft this guy Knox, who could be pretty good. They got Ntilikina from last year. They're really kind of doing it right. They're building a team, and they have all this cap space for next year, which means next year they're going to sign another Amari and be terrible for another 5 years after that.
Which will be Kyrie Irving.
I know all this cap space kind of scares me. I know we need cap space, but the idea that the Knicks are trying to get all this cap space for a max player, you know they're going to screw this up.
I'm just scared of Irving and Butler because Kyrie is injured every single year, and Butler isn't exactly healthy all the time.
I would take Irving over Butler if I was crossing my fingers and wishing for one of them. But
well, if Tibbs knows Butler's going to leave, he's going to play him 47 minutes a night. And if Tibbs thinks Butler will stay, he'll play him 46 minutes a night.
I mean, neither of these guys sound like great locker room guys either.
Tom Thibodeau. Nobody's going to mistake him for Red Auerbach. Has he ever even made the finals?
There is something to be.
Everyone talks about this guy being the best coach of all time, and
no. I mean, we all like laud him as the greatest defensive coach ever, and Minnesota doesn't play defense, so it's kind of a weird. And I want him as a Knicks coach, but like, whatever reason, he can't seem to get Wiggins to play defense or Towns to play defense there.
Well, Wiggins doesn't want to play basketball. Everybody knows that.
Doesn't want to play basketball.
He doesn't.
Hot takes by Bry.
He hates playing basketball. You could just Google his name, and like every article you'll see is that he has no work ethic and basically hates basketball.
Yeah, no, I've heard he has a pretty bad work ethic.
He was coming out like obviously he was the top pick, and like he was supposed to be so good. I guess
the problem with basketball players is like 95% of it is size, and if you're just a big person, you're going to get drawn to basketball, and then you have to realize like you either want to play it or you just coasted through because that's what you did. And then these guys get to the NBA, they get their money, and they're just like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, once you get your money, like some of the guys are like, "This is what I was working for. Now I can stop putting in the crazy work." You need the guys who are like just like insane, like a Michael Jordan-esque insane, where they just want to be the best.
Yeah,
You need like Hizanja.
Herzanja, yes, and Knox, and all the guys the Knicks have. They all want to be the best. So the Knicks are finally kind of doing it right in the sense of like drafting young, keeping their draft picks, trying to develop players. They brought a coach here who's supposedly going to be good at developing players. What do you think about them taking the shortcut this offseason or next offseason and trying to sign max players instead of like continuing with the build?
Well, who are some of the free agents next year? Let's go through it.
There's a bunch of big names, but Durant is a big name, obviously. Durant, but the Knicks aren't getting Durant.
Right.
I think Kawhi's gonna be a free agent, but the Knicks aren't getting Kawhi. Kyrie, who supposedly wants to play with New York, but also thinks the world is flat, so who the hell even knows?
Right.
Butler is Butler a free agent? He is too, right? Obviously, the rumor wouldn't be there if he's not. He's not. Who else is free agent? Jay?
Klay Thompson.
Yeah, Knicks aren't getting Klay Thompson. The problem is also everyone has money next offseason, and it's only so many good free agents.
DeAndre Jordan, Carmelo Anthony, Chandler Parsons, Wesley Matthews.
Excuse me a minute. Time out. Rant number 1 is going to start.
Go. Enos Cantor, by the way. Go on.
Why on earth would Mark Cuban sign DeAndre Jordan after the crap that they pulled 2 years ago when he tried to sign him?
Yeah, I was very surprised that he was even allowed in the city of Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a phony. Well, the Mavericks stink anyway. It's not going to make him any better. He stinks.
I know it was a 1-year deal.
Yeah, what's the point of a 1-year deal to him?
I mean, all the crap he talked about him after they pulled that, barricade SWAT team thing going on. And by the way, there's nobody left on that Clippers team, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah. They were so good, and they basically got to the second round. That was all they did. The entire Chris Paul run there, they did nothing.
Well, for some teams, you get a parade when you get to the second round. I think they had one for Anthony Davis actually when he finally got to the second round.
I mean, the Knicks, we got to the second round in the last 20 years. That's all we've done. So, or last 18 years or whatever. So, Brian,
you may continue your list, Jay. I'm sorry.
Well, let's hang on, Brian. What's your take on LeBron going to LA?
LeBron going to LA. This idea that LeBron, who's never played a game for the Lakers now, is all of a sudden the best Laker of all time. First of all, that's like saying Willie Mays is the best Met of all time because he stumbled around the outfield at the end of his career. At best, he's the 5th best Laker. And even if he won championships and he'd have to win 10 in a row to be the best Laker of all time. And he's not going to do that. They're not even going to win a title probably.
Do you think he signed a 3-year deal or a 4-year deal with an opt-out after 3 years? Is he going to build a title? I guess the idea here is
no, he's not going to win a title.
He's valuing, I guess, obviously living in LA. He wants to raise his family in LA, and totally understand. And he has his film career he wants to build up there, entertainment. But as far as winning a title, I guess he figured stay in the East. Maybe he goes to the finals for 3 more years, but doesn't win a title. Can he build a team that actually wins one here?
No.
Is there any?
They won't win a title.
What's the path to them winning one? I don't like. They've made some weird signings, like Lance Stevenson.
Their path to the title is hoping that the Warriors break up after next year.
Yeah, that seems pretty much Jay.
That's really his only way. I mean, I don't know what I get that he wants to be in LA for all those reasons, but for a purely basketball purpose, it's like the worst place he could go because he's never going to be a Laker. A quote-unquote Laker like Kareem or Magic or Kobe or I guess even Shaq or some of those other guys. He's always going to – it'd be like if he went to the Bulls.
If he can win a title. If he doesn't win a title, no one holds him as a real Laker. Only if he wins a title.
I guess.
If he wins a title, if he wins a title here, people will say he was great here and he accomplished what he – it's pretty amazing if you go to 3 different franchises and win titles.
But he's also not going to have as much power with the Lakers. He's not going to push Magic Johnson around and tell Magic Johnson what to do, who to get rid of, to fire the coach. I mean, Luke Walton's going to be the coach.
But he has a tough path trying to go through Houston and Golden State to get to the finals. He's looking at a team that could be a second-round exit, maybe even a first-round exit, depending on their matchup.
And I want to see him in what's his name? LeVar
Lonzo.
Ball. I want to see
LeVar.
those two. I want to see those two have a nice conversation after one of them blows a game.
I mean,
That's the only reason I would watch them.
I mean, Lonzo has to really step up his game to make for this to work. Ingram's got to really step up his game. I don't know. He's banking on some players that they're good players, but I don't know if this is going to get you through the West.
Spoiler alert, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
I mean, the only path I see is that like they play this season out and then they get Kawhi next year.
I think that's the plan. But it's just weird that LeBron would be cool with basically punting a season.
It's also at his age, how do you punt the season? Because like he only has so many like peak seasons left.
Yeah.
At some point, he's going to start falling off. He's
played like 3 extra years with all of his playoff games.
Yeah. So yeah, I find it weird that he would be cool going to a team that's just not going to be that good.
Yeah, he's about to turn 30. He's 33, about to turn 34, which is not so old in NBA terms, but usually guys are in their decline. It's older that
he came in at 18, though.
Yeah, and he's played these crazy amount of games every season that
Well, not even the games, the minutes. He's led the team in minutes for like 3 straight years.
and he goes to the finals every year, so he plays the season till like mid-June every year.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have to think
20 games more.
Yeah, I have to think like maybe he has a really great year again this year, but 35, you're going to start seeing like cracks in the armor.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be better this year without Kawhi than he will be next year with Kawhi.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even if he gets Kawhi, is that we don't even know if Kawhi is still going to be Kawhi.
Yeah, and if I'm the Spurs, on to my next rant, I would just be like, we're not trading you, so show up and play or don't. I don't really care. When you hit your free agency in a year, you'll have had 2 years without playing basketball, and everybody hates you, so good luck.
Well, I
That's
think
what I would say to him.
Kawhi's got to show up and prove himself right now. If Spurs don't trade him, Kawhi's got to show up and prove himself.
Is he
There's no-
Now, I'm asking this question seriously because you guys know I don't really watch a lot of basketball, but is he really that good?
He was top 5 player
Okay.
like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before his injury, when you were talking about MVP, they were talking about Harden, Westbrook, LeBron, and Kawhi. Because Kawhi is one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and he's on offense. He's getting better and better.
So
That player, you'd want to lock down on a max contract in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, no, I get that, but I mean, is he? So, like, when the Spurs won their last title, did they go through him, or was it still like Duncan and all those
that
other
was
guys?
still. He won MVP though, didn't he?
He won Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when they beat Miami, and like he had a great series against LeBron.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He won Finals MVP in like his early 20s. So yeah, he's good.
No, he's obviously really good. But the question also is that he's coming off an injury. And,
That was 5 years ago too.
Yeah. Also, he's coming off an injury, and he couldn't make it work in San Antonio. The potentially best situation you could be in all of the NBA. Like the best run organization couldn't make it work with him. Maybe he's a bit of a head case.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that actually.
But let's just say he is the player he was before. He's all-world defender, all great on offense. Still, can they beat Golden State?
No.
Because I mean, the Spurs haven't been very good in the past couple. I mean, I know this year he didn't play at all, but even like last year or 2 years ago, weren't they?
No, they were pretty good. They just didn't they're just not good enough. He was also 2 years ago.
I know he got hurt in the playoffs against the Warriors.
Yeah,
he landed on the guy's foot.
So he hasn't been in the playoffs healthy in 3 years.
Okay.
Or since not last year, but the year before.
Right. Okay.
He's really good. It's just let's say you have that, you have Kawhi, you have LeBron, and that's a very, very good team right there. You still have to round that team out. This team has depends on how. If you get Kawhi, you probably have to lose Ingram.
Unless you wait till next year.
Well, the thing is, how much are they paying Ingram right now? Can they make the salaries work? Or Ingram's not he's still on a rookie deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if you wait till next year, then you can make it work. So what do you think Kawhi going to do? What's San Antonio going to do with him?
I don't think I wouldn't trade him. I don't think they're going to trade him.
But
Well,
then
the thing is,
if you don't trade him, then you let him walk and you get nothing.
if you do,
Now this comes back to my old argument about would you rather have nothing or like 4 expiring contracts? I think I'd have rather have nothing.
well, you can probably get like good pieces for him.
Well, put it this way: if he stays, if he stays, are the Spurs winning a title in the next 3 years? Probably not.
But
Yeah,
do you want to give him to a competitor?
If he leaves on his own, he leaves on his own.
I would rather dump him.
Popovich is probably leaving next year anyway.
You would rather try to like loot the Lakers for all you can get from them at the very least,
But
or trade him to the East.
Trade him east and at least get a draft pick.
You can probably still get a lot for him. Like,
yeah,
But
the thing
I don't think anyone in the East is going to give him a lot because they know he's going to be a Laker.
look at the Paul George situation. Oklahoma took a shot, got Paul George. Everyone said Paul George is going to the Lakers, and you know what? He's staying with the Thunder. Maybe
I'm not saying you're not gonna get equal value, but you're because of the Paul George thing. Somebody is gonna say, you know what? We'll bring him here. He's gonna like it, and he's gonna stay, even though he thinks he's going to L.A.
Well, the only team is Boston.
No, Philly too. Philly has a
Philly.
lot to offer. He goes to Philly, and he's like, you know what? It's fun winning here in Philly. The fans are great because we win a lot of games, and it's like I'm playing with two of the best young players in the NBA.
That Philly.
Yeah,
team
but
would
if
be
he's a
nasty.
sourpuss, though, then he's gonna, then he's just gonna hurt all the chemistry for both of those teams.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I hope so.
depends.
That'd be great, but
It depends. If you have one difficult guy and the rest of the team has a good culture, you could usually get that. I mean, Rodman was basically run out of San Antonio, and then he went to the Bulls and behaved for a few years.
Well, no, but the thing with Rodman is that Rodman had to be on a team where somebody could score for 2 people, and that was the Bulls, because all they had on the Warriors was Robinson, and Robinson was good, but he didn't score enough.
Spurs.
And who?
Spurs.
You said the Warriors, Spurs.
Oh, I'm sorry, Spurs. But Robinson was good, but he didn't like Jordan scored enough for 2 people every game, because Rodman he got like 6 points a game and 20 rebounds.
Yeah, no, Robin was not he played lockdown defense also. But yeah, no, you're right. He had issues in San Antonio. It was more just
Yeah, if you remember, he had that thing where he took off his shoes in the middle of a playoff game.
Oh, I remember all that. But
Yeah.
I mean, but just basketball wise, like he needed because he didn't score. He had to be on a team where there was enough people to make up for his scoring.
Yeah, but
And,
was
like,
he,
Where
was
they could
he
just say,
behaving
just
good
play defense and rebound.
But forgetting Robin for a second. Maybe San Antonio, like his injury is more severe than San Antonio realized, and they were kind of dicks about it, and he took it the wrong way. And then, what's his name, Tony Parker, who I'm shocked actually left the team. But Parker was like, I had the same injury, and I was better by now. But that's cool. You take your time. But they kind of like were kind of dicks about it to him, and probably in his mind.
Maybe.
Are you surprised Parker left? By the way,
I am. I'm very surprised.
Yeah,
I
am.
thought Spur for life. Like I couldn't even believe.
Was he got
I mean-
2 years with Orlando?
I thought with the Charlotte.
Charlotte, sorry. Yeah.
Charlotte, yeah.
So he's going to be back up. Okay.
He's
I mean-
20. He's 36. His career is kind of over. The Spurs don't really need him anymore.
He's been kind of washed up for a couple of years, so he should be a backup. So I guess he's in a good situation where he's only expected to play like 15 minutes a game.
But you still kind of thought like he would just finish just like the very few players play their whole career on the one team. But you just figured the
Yeah,
Spurs would be
once you
like,
play like 15 years, you kind of figured I'll just ride it
Yeah.
out.
yeah. You figured also the Spurs would be like, we're not winning the title anyway this year. He's one of our like all-time great players. Here's 2 years for just doing nothing, just to retire here.
Or they said Kawhi said he didn't want to play with him, so they said, "Well, we won't match with any offers then."
I mean, yeah, maybe they feel like Parker's to blame a little bit for the Kawhi
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah,
It was Parker, right? Who said that? Am I crazy?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
He's the only one left.
Yeah, I guess that is crazy they left though. I was shocked. But yeah, maybe like they're like Parker, like you screwed this up for us. Now we won't match the offer. He got 2 years, $10 million, which is also probably more than the Spurs want to pay him. You see, also Kyle Anderson, the Spurs aren't matching.
I don't know what the Spurs are doing.
But actually, at the same time, he's kind of a big contract for the guy. He's not like he wasn't like he was a role player there.
Yeah, he wasn't really living up to the hype.
He got $37 million from the Grizzlies, who I'm not sure what the Grizzlies are doing anyway. They're like trying to compete for a title this year.
Yeah, they're going all in.
Marc Gasol and Conley have not been healthy in years. Suddenly they're going to be healthy, and the team's going to be great.
Yeah, most big men get healthy in their mid-30s.
Who'd they draft? They drafted Bamba. Mike Graves.
Did they? Yeah.
I mean, was it Bomba or
No.
No, it was
that was Orlando.
It was
When did they pick? Third?
they picked I thought it was
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh yeah. No, you think you'd want to spend the year like developing young players and not going all in with Gasol, and you think you'd trade Gasol and Conley if you could, which you probably can't, at least on Conley. Brian, more hot takes.
Did Melo play under D'Antoni when he was on the Knicks?
Yeah.
Yes. He pretty much drove D'Antoni out.
Oh. So that's a good move for him to go to Houston then.
Wait, did Houston sign him already?
No, but they're saying he's either going to go there or to the Lakers. Or...
I mean, it makes the most sense for him to go to Houston because Houston just got rid of Ariza.
And they don't play defense. And
Yeah, we got rid of a guy that plays really great defense. Melo, do you want to not play defense for us?
I mean, I think that getting rid of Ariza is really going to hurt Houston, but 15 million.
Houston's not going to be as good as they were last year anyway because
they're
just not.
They're not.
Assuming they bring back Capella, they're not that much different. It would make sense to bring in Melo. Like, why not bring in Melo? See what you can get out of him.
I guess. I mean,
and nothing's better than chemistry for them bringing the guy that got you fired as a player for you again.
They're not going to be nearly as good though.
No, the Lakers might be better than them next year.
You don't think if they can keep Paul healthy for the playoffs, why you don't think they have a shot?
First of all, Chris Paul's not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Once the pressure's on Chris Paul, so he's going to.
You're also asking Eric Gordon to have another healthy season.
Yeah, Gordon's been healthy though for the last couple of years.
2, yeah.
So, since he got to Houston, he's been healthy. They have an elixir and they fix players. I don't know.
I'm just saying I would not bank on Gordon having a third straight healthy season.
Is it hilarious though that Oklahoma bought out Melo?
Well, they didn't officially buy him out yet.
Well, isn't it happening though?
They
said they're parting ways, so they're going to look for a sucker to try and trade for.
I heard the Knicks have some young players.
Yeah, he's going to get bought out. Nobody's going to trade for him.
Well, apparently, they save $100 million in their cap by getting rid of him.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
But it also Oklahoma, just like the team that wanted to save money by getting rid of Harden, is now paying an absurd amount of money for their team that's going to the first round and nowhere else.
I think that's funny that they're like the most expensive team ever. I don't think I can name two. I can name 2 players on that team.
Paul George and Westbrook.
Yeah.
It's like Adams.
I don't think I know anyone else on that team. So who's making all the money?
Well, George is a max deal now. It's a max deal, right? You got Westbrook with a max deal. Adams probably is a huge deal. Melo is getting 29 million. That's most of the cap right there.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying. Adams is getting a good amount. Adams is getting 22.
Oh, it was a rhetorical question. I'm sorry.
And then you're paying 10 for Roberson.
Yeah, but he's worth it. I mean, like 100%. Like that. He's a guy that actually is worth the money. I mean, the guy it's one of those tough situations. I mean, forgetting Melo. Melo was a dumb trade for them, but they were stuck with they would have Cantor anyway. So either way, they were kind of screwed. But like Westbrook, how do you not give him the money? Steven Adams has been pretty good. Like, I understand his contract.
I mean, it's not a bad team. It's just they're not going anywhere.
It's the West. If they were in the East, you'd be like, this team has a shot.
Yeah.
In the East, why not? They could make a run. It's just the West is like they should ask the NBA if they can switch to the East. Like, maybe the only way to solve this is to take teams from the West and just put them in the East.
Well, they're talking about doing that reseeding of the playoffs now.
My
top 16 teams and.
What I would really like is every good player I think the top 100 good players in the NBA all go play in the West to give the Knicks a fighting chance in the East. Like, I want the East to be a wheelchair basketball league and the Knicks.
If you want to pick, go ahead.
Go. I was gonna say if they could beat some like wheelchair teams, that would be great. Get to the finals.
You're assuming they could beat the wheelchair teams, though.
I'm not assuming, but I'm assuming they can at least get to the playoffs with the wheelchair league. Yeah.
If you want to fix the NBA, you got to get rid of 10 teams.
But they're never going to do that. It's too much money.
I
They're
know.
never going to. They're never
That's
going
the only way. The only way to make it more balanced. You have to get rid of
They're-
10 teams.
I understand, but they're not going to shorten the length of the season. They're not going to get rid of teams. They're not going to do anything that's going to cut revenue.
I know.
You would say we take a quick break and then do some questions?
You're going to say we take a break, but I think we're going to start speaking like 12 seconds after this. Like, it's not going to feel like a break, but you said we're taking a break. Are you like inserting a commercial and that's what you're saying?
Quiet. All right, we are back. Well, I should say that if you want to contact us on email, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is all at nyknickspodcast, and our website is thenewyorknickspodcast.com. Less than 10 shirts left, so you might want to get those before they go.
Of the 1 million shirts that Jay has ordered and sold.
Yes. There's actually only one medium and one small, so if you're thinking about it, while supplies last.
Yeah, if you want to get one of that, get one for yourself and one for your honey. Jay, you want to do a Where Are They Now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Where are they now? Jay, where's your cock?
He is... I know he got a $5.3 million offer.
No. I thought he got a $4.5 million offer. Like, he only got $200,000 more than the Knicks would have given him if he had opted in.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah. No, he got 4.3. He would have gotten 4.3 for the Knicks, and I think he got 4.5 from the Pacers.
Okay.
And he was reunited with his backdoor buddy, Doug McDermott. I don't mean that in any. I just think he always throws the backdoor passes to McDermott.
I mean, 4.5. Like, I would have liked to have him back for that little.
Why?
Because he's a good guy to have on the team. He's not bad.
But then you have to give him playing time, and then you have less playing time for.
Oh my God, he might take Luke Cornett's minutes.
But what's the point? Like you're not. The team, Cock got a lot of playing time, and I have to say Cock because this is his farewell episode. But Cock got a ton of playing time last season, and the team was terrible with him. He was a good locker room guy. The team was horrible. He's funny on Twitter, and I liked him in general. He had brought some energy, but generally the team was horrible with him.
Yeah, well, it was a horrible team.
I know, but he didn't make them better. You have a backup center that everyone overrated. He's fine. There's nothing I'd rather see if Mitchell Robinson can play. I'd rather give Luke Cornett. At least Cornett can do things that he can't.
I'm just saying, for a backup center for 4.5 is good. It's a good.
I would be very happy if Cantor had opted out and then bringing Cock in. I would be totally happy with that. But since we have Cantor anyway, it would just be a stupid allotment of money. Then you wouldn't have a power forward in the rock. I'd rather bring in Mario Herjonga.
This is going to be a long year with this, isn't it?
I'd rather brought in Super Mario. Super Mario makes so much more money, so much more sense. If your choice was Super Mario versus Cock, what makes more sense to you?
At the respective contracts, yeah, Mario.
Yeah, well, Mario does. He plays the 4. We have so few 4s right now on the roster. He's a young player that has potential. You know what Cock is.
And Mario will probably take minutes from Lance Thomas, so that's good.
Yeah.
Steve Wright.
Okay.
I go to college, and since we got screwed out of an NBA team, I hadn't really been a fan of a team until a few years ago when I was listening to some stuff before the 2015 draft. Nobody could figure out who the hell the Knicks were going to pick with the 4th pick, so I listened to one of your episodes to see what you guys thought, and I've been a Knicks fan ever since. It's definitely been shitty sometimes, but it's been better than watching our WNBA games, so shout out to you guys. Thank you, Steve.
Where is he from?
He said he went to college in Washington.
Oh.
So he obviously there was no Seattle team to root for there. Stewart writes, "Hey guys, it's definitely time for the Knicks to make a play for Utah's Dante Exum. I know he's had some bad luck with injuries, but he's only 22. I haven't seen anywhere near his potential yet. Unfortunately, he's now fallen behind Donovan Mitchell in the rotation. This guy is an elite defender, has great length and size, plays well at times in the playoffs. After returning from his second major injury, I'm really confident he's going to break out next season. Not seeing this as a major gamble either. I know Utah are very reluctant to lose him in free agency. Let's see how much they're prepared to match. What do you guys think?"
Did they already sign him? I got
They
the
did.
email a couple days ago. Yeah. And they gave him a decent amount of money, right?
Yeah.
They gave him 3 years, $33 million, so $11 million a year. The Knicks didn't have the cap space to do that.
No,
anyway.
that was way too rich for what the Knicks could have offered.
Well, we have to give Baker and Noah their money. So Baker, by the way, now makes more money than. Oh, we haven't talked about it yet. We haven't done it on the show because it happened afterwards. What's his name on Golden State?
Oh,
the big
Cousins?
signing. Cousins. He makes more money. Baker now makes more money than Cousins, which is exactly what you'd expect. What, Bri, hot take, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yes, I've been waiting. I've been waiting patiently for 57 minutes. I'll bet somebody $50 right now that DeMarcus Cousins is not on the Warriors at the end of the season.
Wow.
Wow, that is a bold prediction. He's not even going to play for Golden State till January because of his injury.
First of all, yeah, go ahead.
So no, go. I don't have much to add. Go.
Deep breath. Let me take a sip of water. This idea now that the Warriors have the best starting lineup of all time is, I mean, I could laugh for hours about that. I mean, that's not even close to the best lineup of all time, number one. Number two, this, like, oh my God, it's so overkill. First of all, the guy's a losing player. He's a loser. He's never won more than like 35 games. He's never sniffed the playoffs.
Right, can I interrupt you? Can a good player be on a bad team? Like Kevin Garnett was on horrible Timberwolves teams, but people said he was really good. Then he went to the Celtics.
Yeah, but remember Kevin Love? He was never in the playoffs.
He won a title now.
Well, he did now. But, I mean, everybody's acting like they were trading for the best player in the world when they got Kevin Love. Cousins is a losing player. And don't give me his stats, because when you're on a crappy team and you win 30 games a year, somebody has to score. Like, somebody has to be the leading scorer on the Knicks. Somebody has to be the leading scorer on the Nets. Somebody has to be the leading scorer.
Did you just insinuate that the Knicks are bad?
Well, no, I'm saying what I didn't insinuate. I thought I was pretty clear about it. But like, if you're on a team that sucks, somebody has to score the most points. So big deal. I don't care about the guy's stats. The guy's a losing player. He's never won more than like 30 games. Plus, the guy's a sociopath.
Well, they were having a pretty good year before he got injured last year.
Then they got way better.
Then they got way better. They got 100% way better after he got injured.
Because they had a player that's better than him on the team.
Well, he
doesn't even. I like the Warriors. I like what they're doing. I have a problem with Durant, but that's because I think he's overrated. I don't really care that he went there. But like, if they act like Cousins is going to be some missing piece and they're going to win 70 games again, people are wrong. I mean, he's going to hurt the team more than he's going to help the team.
Why? Just because he plays zero defense?
Because he's crazy and he's a loser.
I would say.
And I think when he finally comes back, he's going to play like 15 games, and they're going to be like, he's a loser. We don't need this guy.
Well, his injury is pretty major. Guys don't really come back from his injury and end up being like as nearly as good as they were before. But he's also like, let's say he's like 75% of what he was before. He's a solid guy to have off your bench, like with your second unit.
They don't even need a center on that team.
Yeah, I mean, they do have troubles when Houston plays Capella or something like that, but they've gotten past those teams.
Well, I guess what would be a smarter move for Golden State? Signing Boogie or signing, same money, Kyle O'Quinn?
It's an interesting question.
I mean, Cousins has been in the league for 8 years. You know, it's not like he's like on his rookie deal where he's been here like 3 years. 8 years is enough of a sample size to realize that you're a loser.
I feel like Kyle O'Quinn on Golden State would be awesome.
The thing is, Golden State, you know exactly what you're getting with Kyle O'Quinn. And he's not amazing, but he'd be a solid backup at the very least. Boogie Cousins, you're rolling the dice with Boogie being like coming off his injury. Do you really need to roll the dice if you're Golden State?
Well, I think it's an okay gamble because they don't need him. They can play Green at the 5, or they can play Kevon Looney, somebody like that. But then if Cousins ends up being really good, then they got to steal.
But why even make a solid gamble? Why not just say like, hey, we get a guy like Kyle O'Quinn, now we're just better?
Well,
I mean,
they lost McGee. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, Cousins obviously, if he looks like he did before, then like the move sounds amazing.
Right. I think it's really like
It's a worthwhile gamble, obviously.
yeah, unless he starts going berserk and just trashes the locker room.
And the other thing is that you get him. That means LeBron does not get him with the Lakers, so you win by just keeping him off the Lakers.
It might have been more like in case he's good, I don't want him on another team.
Yeah, and he gets to like win a title, and he gets to like get his career going again. If he looks good there, maybe like, and the team's winning anyway, people are like, oh, let's give him bigger money.
Or hey, right?
But
You want to keep going with this or?
No, I was just saying it's crazy that like he was like guys that have like he was going to get a max contract and now he's injured and he's getting a 1 year $5 million deal. Who else? The Nerlens Noel, who was turned down like a 4 year. Well, he turned out some crazy contract from Dallas and signed a 1 year like exception deal, like a $5 million deal. Like didn't Nerlens? What was it?
I thought it was like 2 years, $3.5 million or something like that.
What was the contract he turned down? It was something absurd.
Yeah, it was something like 4 years, 48 or 60, something really big.
I think it was like 4 years, 80. I think it was. Hang on, let me find the contract.
All I've heard about for a week though is how like, oh, it's so unfair that the Warriors signed Cousins is going to have no impact on the team next year.
A 4 year, $70 million offer is the deal he turned down to take almost nothing in NBA terms.
Smooth.
Yeah. That was the. I mean, do you think he like just murders his agent?
That's a lot of money. That's really bad.
Like, does the agent even like go like, "Yeah, I'm fired," right? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll see myself out.
It's cool. You don't need to say it. It's fine. I'm out. Versus Zach. By the way, and does Zach LaVine? Does he? What does he do for his agent? Like he's like, I'm buying you an island.
Yeah, seriously. Coming off an injury, no defense, almost max contract. It's insane.
Like some of the guys also that are not signed still, like Clint Capella, Marcus Smart, guys that play like really good defense, can't seem to get offers anywhere else.
I'm surprised about both of them.
Defense is overrated.
I mean, you could say Marcus Smart's overrated, but like I would think Marcus Smart would get like $10 million a year from someone. He does enough that like he does everything besides score, which is an important facet of the game.
Yeah, some might say that. Or he writes, I know God and the basketball gods hate us, Knicks fans, but how amazing would it be if Kyrie and Jimmy joining forces in New York City? I'd nut my pants if it happens. I only see it happening if our team, as it gets 30 to 45 wins this season or the 9th seed.
Rewind, we covered that already.
Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of that idea.
I don't know. I feel like if they're willing to come here, you probably just... Well, the Knicks are going to do it. It doesn't even matter what I think. Whatever. I don't know. Like, if you add Butler and Irving to this team and they're healthy, the East is pretty... there aren't that many good teams in the East. Do you have a shot?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like... Irving's going to want a max contract, and for a guy that's always injured, we're just getting into the same rut we always get into.
Well, you're going to give a max contract to KP. He'll always be injured anyway, so like it'll work out.
Or hey, right?
I go for it, and I whatever. I guess you just have to. No, they're not coming here though. I don't. Do you believe the Kyrie Irving rumor? They really want to come here?
I don't know. Kyrie seems like such a wild card. I wouldn't say it's an impossibility. It's not like the other like every free agent says they want to play in New York. I could actually see Kyrie wanting to.
What do you believe more? Do you believe that Kyrie Irving wants to be a Knick, or that Kyrie Irving really believes the Earth is flat?
I mean, I think he really believes the Earth is flat.
I think there's a better chance of Kyrie being a Cavalier than a Knick.
You think he'd go back there?
Yeah.
What
everybody should start going to Cleveland now that LeBron's gone.
So the theory, yeah, like Durant and Kyrie sign there.
Everybody should just sign there. Like Kawhi goes there, Kyrie goes there.
We're getting another title for Cleveland. Screw you, LeBron.
Everyone's playing for the minimum. Like they have like 12 All-Stars.
So the NBA, like in a certain extent, it's going from like these 5-year deals to like it seems like a lot of the star players want the Durant deal, one year or 1+ year, where they can be a free agent every year, every other year, and players are going to like move around a lot more than they ever did. Is this a good thing for the NBA?
Well, they're still not really moving because they're only going for like 4 teams. I mean, nobody's going to Orlando. Nobody's going to Detroit.
Well, players only leave Orlando. No one ever goes.
That's what I mean. That's why like teams like Detroit, Orlando, Charlotte, Memphis, Toronto, Sacramento, they should all be contracted.
Yeah, maybe all the teams all the best players in the league are going like, hey, let's do a pity thing and like get a title for Sacramento.
The NBA should get like a franchise tag like the NFL has, just so that some of those teams could keep their player for like one more year.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying with it. You know, teams can offer an extra year and more money to players already on their team.
But then they sign it, and then they go 2 years, and they demand to get traded. So I mean,
Yeah.
Was there now Damian Lillard wants to he may want to leave, and the Knicks are a possibility for him?
The Knicks that's what I mean. Everybody's a possibility for the Knicks.
See, the rule should be if you sign a max contract and then you demand a trade, that your contract should get voided.
Does MSG still get to be like the Mecca if everyone goes to LA, not New York? Like no one comes here anymore. No one wants to. Everyone wants to play in LA. LA had not much going for them, but like LeBron goes there.
Yeah.
Okay, we go questions.
Jorge writes, since it's the off season, can you guys do a dollop style episode about James Dolan? I will try and make that happen before the season starts.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm taking my last CPA test the end of August, so hopefully in September I'll be able to put that together.
When's your next one?
10 days.
Oh.
10 days.
How many you have to get? You have to get 2 more, right?
2 more. July 18th, August 28th. Hopefully that'll be it.
So you're halfway there.
Yes.
I assume you're taking 2 different ones, right?
Yes. So then, funny story. Guess when my grades for both of those tests come in?
9/11?
11.
Yes.
Jinx.
They would have to be.
I mean, what other day, really?
Maybe a Friday the 13th, but 9/11's funnier for you.
Okay, and then Dustin said, what do you think about this? NBA exec thinks the Knicks found a stud in Kevin Knox.
Hey, that'd be awesome. I mean, he looked...
That was Marc's anonymous quote.
I'm getting updates from Dustin about the game that's going on right now. He said Frank has 15 points. He's being aggressive, not afraid to shoot. Knox is dunking on everybody.
Knox looks like if he's hitting his threes, but the thing is, it's hard to tell because he's going against talent that's obviously it's subpar D League talent. If Knox can look this good in actual games, then I'll be floored in this pick. But he's got a lot of potential. I can see why the Knicks were very high on him, and I did not watch a lot of Knox game film prior. But they say he also looks a lot better than he looked in Kentucky already.
And he said Robinson looks really good, but he's a little too jumpy on D, so he's getting a lot of fouls. But if once he gets that under control, he looks like he's going to be really good.
But the thing is, Robinson did not play competitive basketball for a year. He probably needs to spend the first half of the year in the D League.
Well, if it's a Knick, he won't be playing competitive basketball either.
That's true. But the guy looks he's got the size. He looks super athletic. I feel like they really have a. I mean, maybe I'm just optimistic because why not? When else are you gonna be optimistic before the game starts? The Knicks are tied for first place now, also for when the season starts.
Does every team have a D League, or is it like a mix of players?
It's not. There aren't 30 D League teams, are there? Or G League teams?
Not yet. I think the goal is to get 30 and to have each team have one. But right now, any team can sign any player from any team.
Except for you have 2 players. They're called two-way contracts, and those players, you have them. You're locked into those players.
But everybody else Spurs could come in and like sign our best player for the G League team. It's weird.
So other teams
And then
can
grind
always-
him to death so that he stinks by the beginning of the year.
Well, other teams can sign our Westchester teams, but the Knicks only look in Westchester. The Knicks never sign a player from a non-Westchester team.
Okay.
It's not like a. I'm right though, Jay. Like the Knicks never explore anyone else in the G League. They only look at the guys that are on their Westchester roster, even though everyone else understands the rules.
This is true.
But anyway, I am predicting Mitchell Robinson will be a huge find. I think the guy's gonna be really good.
I just put the game on and there's a Nick hurt. Oh, he got up. Never mind. He was down for a minute. 21.
You're like, it's weird because Knox's his bone is sticking out. Is that bad?
His foot turned the other way.
They also Fizdale said Dotson, he feels like he should be shooting at least 5 threes a game.
I'm fine with that.
He faces the big role for him. I mean, the teams are right. The team's going to be terrible, but I think the team's going to be better than people expect. I don't think the team's winning 20. I think the team's going to be more like a 30, 32, 33 win game team.
Are they playing in my high school gym? What is this?
It does look like that in those games.
Oh, okay.
All right, speed round Facebook questions.
Yeah, there aren't that many. Alex writes, not a question, but Melo is about to get bought out by the Thunder, and that's hilarious. He'll probably go to a super team and absolutely ruin their chemistry. I'm hoping he can somehow go to Golden State and take shots away from Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, because that would be amazing. He's like, I need my shots, but they make the shots. You don't. Yeah, but I need the shots. Paul writes, what's the Knicks rotation starters? Jay? Who's the starting 5?
I mean,
how about this? Starting 5 in game 1 of the season, and then starting 5 you think the Knicks should use later in the season?
Okay, so it's probably going to be Burke, Hardaway, Lee, maybe Hazanja, Noah, or
Noah.
Yeah, I think they're going to start him.
Why do you think he's going to start? You don't think Cantor's going to start?
Oh yeah, maybe it's Cantor instead of Hazanja. Maybe it's Cantor, Noah.
But you think Noah's going to have a big role? Noah is back in the fold here.
No, you said start of the season. I think he's going to last 5 games.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, our last coach told Noah to go to Siberia and never come back. Do you think this coach is going to, will give Noah a fighting chance?
Yeah. I think Cantor, Noah to start. And then I think within, 5 games, we're going to have, Burke, Frank, Hardaway, Knox, Robinson, or something like that. I think the young guys are going to win all the spots, very quickly.
I think Robinson's going to need a run in the D League. I just cannot see him, or G League, whatever the hell you want to call it. I cannot see him. He's being game ready on day 1 of the season. I think he'll need a couple weeks down there to really. He hasn't played in a year. I mean, I know he's playing now in summer league, but he's going to look out of sorts in an NBA game to start the year. He's going to be slow on offense, slow on defense, just because he doesn't. He's got to get in rhythm.
So maybe it's Mario and Knox or something. Yeah, I just want to see an all young guys starting lineup.
I gotta think Knox is going to get 25 minutes a game, maybe 30. I think he's going to get 30 minutes a game. These guys are going to get to play. I think guys like Courtney Lee is going to be fighting for minutes. Hardaway's going to play. I mean, Burke's going to play. But the older guys are not going to play as much.
Yeah.
I think I can see Cantor not being our starter, though. I think you're in the sense of I don't think. I mean, Fizdale has said everyone has to fight for their role, and I just don't think he's going to love Cantor's game.
Probably not. I wouldn't think so.
Bro, you got any take on this?
I agree with whatever you say.
Bobby says, how much is Frank going to stifle Trae Young? This is before the Atlanta game. So I'm going to steal against Trae Young.
Yeah, I mean, Trae did better than I would have liked, but it wasn't terrible.
Bobby writes, who are the Knicks going to cut loose and how? Roster spots are quickly becoming scarce. So at least one roster spot has to be... They have to get at least one roster spot. They have too many players. Who gets cut?
Whoever's good.
We talked about this last show. I mean, Baker, maybe?
That would be weird to give him that contract and then cut him. But yeah, I feel like there's no real place for Baker.
Yeah, I was just saying he just seems like the Knicks, they really are going to give him a lot of minutes. I mean, there are other guys. I mean, obviously you cut Noah, but I feel like the Knicks are probably going to, because they don't have that many big men, they're probably going to give him a shot. You're not cutting, you signed Hicks and you signed, Hicks the two-way player, so you don't have to, but you signed Cornette, you're not cutting him now.
Hicks might be gone.
No,
he doesn't count as the roster spot because it's two-way, right?
He's a two-way, yeah. The two-way players are just, they're separate. And so Hicks is a two-way, and Alonzo Trier, who, supposedly, the story of Trier, I think for whatever reason, he bounced around a lot growing up. And he was in multiple, he went to 5 different high schools or something. So he's a guy that, potentially, and I forget his exact story, but he could be a guy that actually is better than you expect, and you just, developed a little bit slower because he had a lot of chaos going on in his life.
It should be Moutier.
Yeah, it really should be Moutier.
It probably should be him.
I think Fizdale wants to see if he can resurrect his career, though.
Do you know what Moutier shot from the three-point line last season?
Is it in single digits?
It's close.
What was it?
19.6%.
So that's not good, right?
That is very, very, very not good.
Ask the accountant.
If the number you shot for from the 3-point line is lower than the number of feet, then it's not a good shot, not a good number.
Well, that was his Knicks numbers. He shot much better in Denver, but still, he was 9 for 46 on the Knicks.
I mean, supposedly Fitzdale has taught him how to finish at the rim, and he'll be much better now.
That's what we need.
I forgot we had Moutier. Would you rather cut Moutier or rather cut Baker? I'd rather cut Moutier, I think.
Yeah.
I know I'd rather cut Moutier.
Because Moutier doesn't play defense either. At least Baker plays defense.
Yeah, at least Baker, the positive of keeping a guy like Noah here is that Noah, whatever you want to say about him, he works really hard. I feel like that will rub off. He's a veteran that you kind of want to rub off on the other players. Baker is a young guy who has at least the hustle that would probably be positive for the young players.
Although with Moutier, the Knicks have 3 out of the top 7 draft picks from the 2015 draft.
And then two of the other guys are playing in Brooklyn. So
yes.
that draft, which everyone got so excited about, 5 of the 7 players are in New York.
Unfortunately, the 2 that are missing are the 2 we really want in New York.
Wait, who's the other guy besides KP? Besides Cat, I mean, Towns.
It was. No, Okafor is he in
the
Brooklyn?
Nets. Yeah, he's in Brooklyn.
Oh, Cauley Stein.
Cauley Stein. No, I don't think we were dying to have Cauley Stein.
You were.
I was. I still. I believe videos. I don't know. Bobby writes, how much is Frank going? Oh, sorry. Bobby writes, does stretching Noah really make sense than just eating the contract and hopefully trading him to a team looking for an expiring contract next year?
I'd rather eat it.
Well, there's so many teams that have expiring contracts next year. I don't think you're going to be able to move him. But here's what happened. The Knicks will stretch him, use that money to lock in a disaster of a max deal.
Yeah, I'd rather just eat the contract. I don't want to pay Noah in 3 more years.
Yeah. Not to point out a baseball fact, because I know you hate baseball, but Bri,
yes.
I don't know if you've heard this, but if you combine Aaron Judge and Luis Severino's contracts this year for the Yankees, they make less than the Mets are paying Bobby Bonilla.
Oh, the old Bobby Bonilla jokes. With all the crap going on with the Mets this year, you think any Met fan really cares about Bobby Bonilla?
Yeah, I know. Okay, Nick writes, do you guys buy into the Kyrie talk, or is that just an effort by the Irving to get leverage in a deal with Boston? That's what I think, but would love your opinions.
What leverage? They didn't need him in the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't understand what leverage,
If I'm Boston, I seriously think about trading him.
I would.
Or why don't you just make a run with him this year and see how it goes? Add Kyrie and add Gordon Hayward to a team that almost went to the finals and see if you guys...
You know how it's going to go. He's going to get hurt at the worst time of year.
Yeah.
But at least, you can always trade... You have him for... Yeah.
Because if you hold him, then you're not going to get anything, and then he might just walk.
That's true, but the East is open this year, and you've a great shot going to the finals.
I
Why
think
not
just
go?
having Hayward added to that team.
Yeah, I
is a
don't.
great shot.
Yeah, they're clearly
Yeah.
the best team in the East.
Philly is still very. I mean, Philly didn't. What also Philly had all this cap space, and they get Wilson Chandler.
Yeah, who they might get rid of.
Philly's going to need like a mid-level veteran role player from a team that's won
I mean,
till they
They
start
had-
winning.
they had a ton of cap space and just did. I mean, their big hope this year is that. I mean, obviously you think Simmons and Embiid might get better, but you're really hoping that Markel Fultz is not a disaster. If he can end up being good, then you have a really good future going forward.
Like
Sasha,
if this was like 10 years ago, like they need like Robert Horry.
yeah. Well, they got Redick.
Yeah, but he's never won anything.
No, but I'm just saying like a Robert Ory type player. He can shoot.
They need a guy that's been on like a winning team.
You're really big on the guys being on the winning team. If they're winning teams, they're winners, and they're on losing teams, they're losers.
It helps.
I mean, they got Jalika.
Who?
He was on the Timberwolves last year.
Oh,
A big man that could shoot from the outside.
and the Timberwolves are known for winning. So
Yeah.
I mean, they basically replaced Ilyasova with Jalika. Only Ilyasova is getting a stupid contract.
I don't know any of those words you're saying.
James wrote vice versa. I'm sure that was that in response to something, but I don't know. Sasha writes, "How satisfied are you with free agency? I like her lasagna, but is it
Lasagna?
Lasagna. I like
lasagna. I'm Garfield.
Could that be his nickname? But I wanted one out of Parker, Harrell, Jeremy Grant, or Randall. Brian, I know you have no take on these players. Never heard any of these names before.
I heard of Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you think? Would you have
He'd be
liked
good
any?
for the Sixers.
What do you think about this
Yeah, like him.
for the Knicks?
I mean, I feel like Parker would be a good guy to take a chance on.
I don't want Parker because the Knicks aren't winning anything. Why not just play the young point guards? Why would you want Parker here to take minutes?
Not Tony Parker, Jabari Parker.
Oh, I thought it was Tony Parker.
No,
That
you
makes a
do.
lot more sense. Oh, screw you. That makes a lot more sense. Has anyone signed Parker yet?
I
He's still a free agent, right?
think so.
He's a restricted free agent, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, before he got injured, not last year, the year before, he was averaging 20 points a game. Last year he was playing injured, so he only averaged 12. But he could be something really good, and you could probably get him really cheap.
Apparently, he unfollowed the Greek Freak on the IG page and blocks fan page.
Oh,
I know what the IG page means, but
Instagram.
oh, Instagram. Oh, I'm just not cool.
You're old.
I am. I've never seen anyone write Instagram like that. And
When
I
did
don't.
Instagram become the big one? That's what I want to know.
Is that bigger? That's bigger than Snapchat right now. Am I right or
I
wrong?
think it's bigger than Facebook with
Yeah,
younger.
bigger than
people.
all of them, I think.
Is it owned by Facebook though?
I think they did buy it. Yeah.
I don't know. Every once in a while, I'll download or whatever the app for Instagram. Then I'll like have it for 3 days and be like, what the hell am I doing with this?
Mhm.
And I delete it. Jay, what's going on by the way with Nick's Instagram?
There's
Nick's
a lot of people.
podcast Instagram.
There's a lot of people tagging us. There's not a lot of us posting. Probably because you don't even have the program now, and
I've admitted now I've deleted the program. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to post.
Sasha writes. Oh, sorry. I would say, yeah, Parker or Randall. Like Grant, he got a decent sized contract also from OKC, and Harrell I'm not that in love with, but Parker or Randall would have been interesting.
Yeah.
George writes, Trae Young, how bad is he looking? And even if it's only summer league, excuse won't help. Good call. Yeah, Jay, you were more so than I was saying that he was going to be a bust.
He's going to be terrible.
Terrible.
He was horrible to set. Like he also had a pretty bad run, towards the second half of last year.
Think about how not good he looks now, and look at who he's playing against. It's going to get way worse.
Yeah, when teams are like when teams like look at the Hawks and go, I guess we have to like prepare for Young, and they prepare for him, and then like it's over.
Yeah.
Frank writes, which is the worst deal? Hardaway, 4 years, $71 million, or Zach LaVine, 4 years, $78 million. I say LaVine is worse, which means the Knicks are only the 28th worst run franchise in the NBA. Baby steps.
Moving up.
Right, which is the worst contract?
Levine.
Yeah. Paul writes, can you keep us updated on your fundraiser for the equipment upgrade? From Paul. Jay?
I have to price it out, but we have gotten over $250. So thank you so much, everybody.
That's awesome.
We've mentioned I am studying for the CPA, so I haven't been able to price out all the equipment I need and how much it's going to cost, but it's probably going to be close to $1,000.
How much would people have to contribute for you not to take another CPA exam?
We're not going to get there.
Okay. Chris writes, early days, but are you guys with me that Knox looks pretty nice?
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be better than a few people drafted above him.
Who above him besides Trey are you knocking?
Well, definitely Trey, but I have my doubts about Bamba.
Yeah.
La Bamba.
I think a lot of teams are going to regret the fact that in a league that's going less traditional center oriented, 3 of the top 8 picks were traditional centers.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Knox being more useful than Carter Jr., Sexton, maybe even Bagley. Okay,
well, now we're really overreacting. He's played one summer league game. He's in the middle of his second summer league game. We previously had an episode 2 episodes ago where I was lamenting how bad this draft pick was, and now we're like, he could be rookie of the year.
Well, no, he's probably not going to be better than Ayton or Doncic or Jaren Jackson.
But we're getting a little. I feel like there's always this as a Knicks fan, we have to get extra excited about players. Unlimited things happen. We just see a small sample size. And we're like, hey, he didn't pee on himself in the first game. I'm so excited.
Well, of course, we're desperate.
He drove to the basket, and we're like, oh my god, a Knicks rookie drove to the basket. We didn't see Ntilikina do it at all last year, so we're like, holy crap, he's aggressive on offense.
That's what the last 15 years has done to us.
It's funny also because Ntilikina plays great defense, and we're like, Knox, his defense was fine. I don't know. It wasn't amazing. Didn't do anything special on defense. And we're like, who cares? Offense.
True.
But I am on the Knox train now, so I'm excited, and I feel stupid for I'm feeling stupid as we go along for my reaction. Gilliam writes, how do you feel about the possibility of the Knicks signing Durant next summer? Assuming Knicks were his choice, because personally, I used to like Durant, but now I can't find any more dislikable and lame player. While there's no doubt that he would be the best possible free agent signing. Jay?
I would be...
Actually, Bry.
Yeah.
Give us your take on the Knicks signing Durant. If Durant says, I want to be a Knick, the Knicks go okay, we'll sign you. What's your take on that?
Good luck to you.
That's really your hot take on this? Come on, Bry. This is the Hot Take Bry show.
Well, I mean, LeBron would be happy because he'd be out of the West.
Do you think the Knicks get the Knicks to the finals?
No.
Durant, KP. That'd be a very long, interesting lineup. Durant and KP together. They're your 4 or 5, I guess. Knox.
You get to the second round, maybe.
Then you have Knox at your 3, and you have a pretty long team there. Or I guess Durant, maybe KP's your 3 and Mitchell Robinson's your 5 there, and you have the incredibly long team. I dislike Durant immensely, but I'm pretty sure there's no member of Al Qaeda I would not, or ISIS, that I would not sign if it meant getting us to the finals.
I mean, Durant would be the best player we've had since Ewing.
I'm just like, I don't care. I don't like him. I would take if LeBron and Durant just said, I'm going to go 1 year in the Knicks and get him a title, I'd be like, thank you guys. I'd be so
That'd be funny. Yeah, I'd love to hear him say that.
I
Get the title.
we'll get you a title. We feel horrible for you. We've heard this Knicks podcast. It's horrible. We need to help you guys. Jay, what if LeBron and Durant teamed up and said, we will get you a title because we like the podcast, but the only thing it has to do is we have to pee on you first.
Who's peeing on me?
LeBron and Durant are giving you a golden shower. But after that's over,
RJ, that also means you might be president. So,
but after that's over, the Knicks will win a title.
The thing is, I feel like if I say no to this, fans might murder me.
I can't golden shower.
They're like, Jay, it was just a little pee, and we could have won a championship. Now I'm gonna have to murder you.
By the way, the golden shower segment is what's different about our show than an ESPN podcast.
You won't hear that on the Ringer.
We're not owned by Disney. That's why.
We're not owned by anyone, really. So, Jay, yes or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
I'll take one for the team.
Right, and Durant gets to pee on you, and that's the end of it. There's nothing. You don't get anything for it.
Just why? Because I call them overrated.
Are you just down for it?
What do I get out of it? I don't get anything out of it.
No. He pees on you, but then he admits that Bri was right and he's overrated.
Oh, all right. I'll let him PM you for that then.
He admits you. He's a huge fan of the podcast, and his favorite moment of the podcast was when you called him overrated.
Yeah, I'll let him PM you for that.
Paul writes, Frank actually just had 2 aggressive plays in a row.
As long as he does that with Stephen A. Smith.
In tonight's Summer League game. So hopefully the change is already coming. Do you think Frank will be aggressive the way he needs to be this year and stop giving the ball up way too soon? And Paul also just writes, feels like I made this comment during Frank's breakout game.
I hope that was his breakout game. It would be nice to have a few players where like, yeah, this is definitely our core going forward.
It seems like to me they have enough players to it seems like Fizdale is the guy that's going to hold players accountable in theory. And he seems like he's working very closely with Ntilikina. Ntilikina has commented on how amazing their time together has been so far. Like how he's really likes working with him. I think Fizdale's going to get through to him, and you're going to see it's not going to be. I mean, obviously he's having a better game tonight. I think it'll be kind of some games he'll be a lot more aggressive. Some games he'll just be a little bit invisible in offense. It'll be a very hit or miss thing with him, is my guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's growing pains. The guy's still a teenager, right?
Yeah, I think he turns 20 pretty soon.
Yeah.
But he's still pretty damn young. Yeah. Paul writes, how psyched are you guys for Kyrie and Butler?
I'm not.
Which Jay gives a thumbs down GIF to respond to that. And yeah, I think Paul writes back, fine, we'll just get Clay. I don't know how you could not be. If they were going to come here, you would not be down for it.
Because Kyrie is always injured. We go through this all the time.
We've gone through it 3 times tonight.
Yeah.
Well, here's so you have an entire season to watch him. If he's healthy, obviously if he's injured next season, you don't want him here. But if he's healthy the whole next, if Butler and Kyrie play the entire season healthy, would you want them here?
I'm not falling for it.
Okay.
He would just get healthy just so we sign him and then get injured.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Gilliam writes, will you break the record for fastest apology episode with Kevin Knox? Already done. He and Robinson, even more considering he was a 36th pick, look like steals already. Amazing athleticism. Yeah. I apologize, Kevin Knox. And Robinson, who I didn't know anything about, looks pretty damn good. And Paul writes, looks like Robinson is getting bodied tonight, though. Still psyched on him. I think he's going to take a while to really learn the game at another level.
He's got to bulk up, too.
He's got to bulk up, but he's got the frame to bulk up.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got a huge frame.
Yeah.
Bri.
Yeah.
I'm out of questions for Facebook. Give us a couple more hot takes before the episode ends.
I think we got them all in. It was Cousins, LeBron, Kawhi, my plan to fix the NBA. I think that was all of them.
What was your plan to fix the NBA?
Get rid of 10 teams.
I'll get rid of 10 teams, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Rajon Rondo said that I think the Lakers will crack the code to being the Warriors?
No.
Well,
Hasn't Rondo been on like 14 teams in like 10 years?
Yeah. Why did they even sign Rondo? I don't understand. Like, what the hell are the Lakers doing?
They want defensive playmakers surrounding LeBron.
By the way, Brook Lopez signed for the Bucks for a 1-year, $3.4 million deal.
Didn't he used to be really good?
Yeah.
He's really good on offense, can't play defense, and his game, the NBA has just said, we don't like your game anymore.
Yeah.
Like he still scores 20 points a game for you, and he still get you 10 rebounds, or maybe 8 rebounds for him.
Never 10 rebounds, but
6. I don't know. Like
20
he can still get you 20 points a game, and the NBA is like, we just don't care. Like we have no interest in your type. And he's been shooting threes now, also.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so
okay.
That is our show. Thank you for joining us, Bri.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah. What did we learn today?
You could send all your hate mail to nynickspodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to leave a iTunes review, it would be nice if you could leave a positive one this time. There's been quite a few not good ones lately.
If you want to leave a negative review, just buy a T-shirt. Jay will send you his home address, and you can send the hate mail directly to Jay.
There you go. All right, we will be back 2 weeks, unless something earth-shattering happens next week.
Maybe Durant, Jimmy Butler. What if Durant says, I will only sign with the Knicks if they sign Durant and Jimmy Butler also? All 3.
Fine.
It's a lot of pee.
Yeah. All right, and you can check out our comedy show, The Brink of Sanity, brinkofsanityshow.com, or type in The Brink of Sanity into iTunes. That is the 3 of us. And
Get caught up, because there hasn't been a show in like 6 months.
It's 300 episodes, though, so you could go back.
But remember, there's always more Golden Shower comedy on the Knicks podcast than on the Brink podcast.
Yes. Try to keep it clean over there.
Yeah.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.